Hey guys, Will Hamilton here, and in this video we're talking about a big match at the Aussie Open, the quarterfinal match between Roger Federer and Stanislas Wawrinka, a battle of the Swiss players. Now, Wawrinka is coming off a big and dominant win over Andy Roddick in the fourth round. It really wasn't that much of a match, to be honest. Wawrinka just kind of wiped the floor with Roddick. And let's briefly recap what happened in that match, because I'm expecting more of the same from Wawrinka in terms of the tactics. Now, the big thing, let's get rid of Federer here for a second. We'll actually put Roddick up here. Let's go Rod. The thing that Wawrinka did really well, if we had a backhand-to-backhand exchange here, and the icon circle is the player, stick is the side they're hitting on, this is backhand exchange for righties. And what Wawrinka did really well is he'd get in these backhand exchanges like this, and this is a winning proposition, first of all, Wawrinka with Roddick. Roddick's backhand, not the strongest part of his game. He'd get in an exchange like this, and he would either pull Roddick a little wide, or he would just pull the trigger and go down the line with his backhand. And he hit a lot of outright winners doing this, and if Roddick got to the ball, then Roddick was on the move. And that really worked well for Wawrinka. I think the entire match he had something like 67 winners. I think 23 or 24 of them were aces. So you're looking at plus 40 on winners off the ground. And while Wawrinka played great, some of that had to do with Roddick, because absent Roddick's big serve, he's kind of like a counterpuncher to a degree. He kind of just rolls the ball back and doesn't really hurt you too much off the ground. So that gave Wawrinka a lot of looks. He was able to really work the point and go after a ball where it was set up right in his strike zone and attack. That's not going to happen against Federer. Federer is obviously one of the most aggressive, if not the most aggressive player on tour. And he's not going to get into a lot of long extended rallies and allow Wawrinka to really go after the ball. But what I do think Wawrinka needs to do is essentially the same strategy in terms of off the ground, where you would get in a backhand-to-backhand exchange, which I think just generally favors Wawrinka. Wawrinka right now, the way he's playing, I think his backhand, an exchange like this is definitely in his favor. The forehand-to-forehand exchange, that's absolutely in Federer's favor. Federer arguably, well, not arguably, in my view, the best forehand on tour. Arguably, that's the best shot ever. So Wawrinka is going to look to get in these backhand-to-backhand exchanges. And what we know, this is sort of Federer's staple play. This is what's helped him win all those Grand Slams, is he makes the backhand corner real tiny, where you don't have much of a window to hit into to get the ball to his backhand, because he essentially turns many of these balls into forehands. So instead of a backhand, he runs around that, and he's going to hit a forehand. And this is really how he takes control of a lot of points. So what can Wawrinka do to prevent Roger from turning a lot of these backhands into forehands? Well, I think he needs to do the same thing he did against Federer, and namely, he needs to go down the line very often. And if he does that with success, what Federer won't be able to do is cheat over and look to turn a lot of these balls into forehands. If Federer knows all these shots are coming cross court, he's just going to move over and over and over, make the backhand side, as Darren Cahill likes to say, the size of a postage stamp, just very tiny, and he's going to hit all sorts of forehands and be in control of a lot of points. So this down-the-line ball off Wawrinka's backhand, I think, is huge, because that forces Federer to play more towards the center. He can't cheat over. That's going to just generally open up this area of the court. So if Wawrinka goes line here and he gets Federer on the run, has to hit a competent quality shot, then the subsequent shot from Federer is going to be a ball Wawrinka can then hit to the open court, the backhand side. So it's that old strategy of hitting at the strength to actually open up the weakness. This is something people do against Rafa fairly regularly, because Rafa is another player that's very good at making the backhand a very small target. So I think this is what Wawrinka needs to do: establish these backhand exchanges, hit to the strength, hit a big shot to the strength, and then back to the weakness. And that's going to be the play that I think will give him a good shot at this match. I do think it's going to be a very close match. I think Wawrinka's been playing great. Again, I think it's certainly matchup oriented. Roddick gave Wawrinka a lot of balls to go after. Federer is not gonna give Wawrinka that opportunity. The other final point I would make is I think Wawrinka is going to have to make an adjustment on his return of serve, because against Roddick, if we pretend that Federer is Roddick again, Wawrinka was able to basically just get a racket on the ball and get the ball into play. So he wouldn't have to do too much off the return, just get it into a big window somewhere there. And Roddick, because he doesn't hit huge off the ground, Wawrinka didn't have to worry too much about Roddick just being in the driver's seat from that first shot. And he is going to have to worry about that against Federer. Any blocked return in this area of the court is going to be a forehand for Federer. He's going to, on the deuce court, he's going to run around and hit forehands there. On the ad court, he's obviously already set up for a forehand. So you can look for Federer to play first strike tennis against any blocked returns. Wawrinka's not going to be able to get away with that. He's going to have to do more with his return against Federer than he had to do against Roddick, even though Roddick has a bigger serve than Federer does. So it's going to be interesting to see how this matchup plays out, because Wawrinka has looked great. Federer's looked good, but he hasn't looked invincible. And because of that, I think we're in for a good match. I'm going to go. My prediction on this is 4 sets to Federer. I think Federer is going to win the first. We're going to get very specific. Federer wins the first set, loses the second set, and then wins the third and the fourth. So I'm going to really be specific here, and we'll see how accurate I am. But with that in mind, this match is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. What's your predictions? What do you think of this analysis? Do you think there's going to be some other tactics that are going to play out? And comment, or you can rate this video or like it somewhere on this page, so please do that. Looking forward to this. Starts in a couple hours, and I will see y'all soon.